On a sunny Sunday morning, a young volunteer walked into the church wearing simple, worn-out clothes and old sneakers. A senior volunteer spotted him from across the hall and rushed over with a big smile. "Hey, you're new here, right?" the senior volunteer said cheerfully. "We're having a charity dinner next week at the Grand Hotel. You should totally come." The young volunteer smiled. "That sounds great. I'd love to help." As they walked outside after service, the senior volunteer noticed the young volunteer unlocking a rusty old bicycle. Her smile froze. She glanced at his faded jeans and scuffed shoes. Her friendly expression melted into disgust. Later that day, she texted other church members, "Can you believe that poor kid thinks he can come to our charity dinner? He'll make us look bad with that trashy bike. I thought we only accepted people who could actually donate something valuable." The next Sunday, the young volunteer brought an envelope to the donation box. He had saved up $50 from his part-time job to give to the church's homeless shelter fund. As he approached the box, the senior volunteer laughed. Out loud, "You, what's that? Your lunch money from last week?" she mocked in front of everyone. "Sorry, but we don't need pocket change from poor kids. Real donors give thousands, not pennies." The young volunteer's face turned red. He stood there, holding his envelope, as other church members whispered and giggled. He quietly placed his donation in the box and walked away, his heart breaking. A week later, at the charity dinner in the Grand Hotel's ballroom, the senior volunteer and other guests were eating fancy food and chatting. Suddenly, a sleek black limousine. The limousine pulled up outside. Everyone rushed to the windows. "Wow! Look at that beautiful car! Who could it be?" the senior volunteer whispered excitedly. The car door opened, and the young volunteer stepped out with his parents. Everyone gasped. The senior volunteer's jaw dropped. Before entering, the pastor, who was the young volunteer's father, put his hand on his son's shoulder. "Son, see those people in there? Some of them judge you by your clothes and bike, not by your heart. That's not what God teaches us. Faith isn't about fancy cars or expensive donations. It's about a pure heart." In true kindness, as they entered, the senior volunteer ran toward them like they were celebrities. "Oh my goodness! I didn't know your parents were the main church donors. You just made this dinner amazing," she gushed. Her attitude completely changed. The young volunteer looked at her calmly. "I hate to disappoint you, but we didn't come here to celebrate with people who judge others by their money. We came to serve the homeless, just like Jesus taught us." "Wait," the senior volunteer stammered, but the young volunteer walked past her toward the kitchen, ready to help serve food to those in need. The young volunteer and her sister's words echoed in the room. God doesn't measure your worth by your wallet. He measures it by your heart. Give with love, not for show, and treat everyone as equal in His eyes. Drop a heart if you believe true faith is about loving others, not judging them.